If you can't sit in silence, you'll never stand in chaos. Let me be blunt. Your life is loud with weakness because you've never learned to be still with power. We live in a world screaming for your attention, chaos, distraction, noise. But the ones who rise, the ones who dominate, are not the loudest, they're the calmest. Stillness is not weakness. It's the calm before the storm you control. Today I'll show you why you must evolve to command the chaos and how to unlock power through stillness. Stillness is not some Zen garden fantasy. It's not sitting cross-legged on a mountain humming to yourself while the world burns. No, stillness is about precision. It's about control. It's about learning to sit in the eye of the storm while everyone else is getting tossed around like rag dolls. You see, most people confuse action with progress. They think if they're moving, they're advancing. Wrong. Movement without direction is chaos, it's noise, it's weakness disguised as hustle. Real power doesn't flinch, it doesn't twitch, it waits. Stillness is the moment before the punch, the breath before the shot, the silence before the decision that changes everything. That's where you get your edge. That's where killers are made. Let me tell you something. Life isn't a damn arcade game. You don't get points for flailing. You get points for precision. The world will try to pull you in every direction. Notifications, drama, distractions, people demanding your attention every second. But the man who wins is the one who pauses, who steps back and sees 10 moves ahead while everyone else is playing checkers. He's the sniper, calm, focused, deadly. And you, if you're still reacting to everything like a headless chicken, you're not in the game, you're part of the scenery. Stillness trains your nervous system to stop panicking, to stop second guessing, and to start processing with power. It's the discipline to not act immediately. It's the maturity to know that silence can be the loudest answer. You evolve when you stop needing the world's approval and start building your strategy in the shadows. When you're still, you can see. And when you can see, you can strike. But if you're constantly moving, constantly reacting, constantly trying to prove something to people who don't matter, you're wasting bullets on the wind. Every great warrior, every visionary, every elite operator, what do they all have in common? They don't flinch. They wait. They watch. They calculate. Stillness is the separator between amateurs and assassins, between the boys and the men, between noise and impact. You want to be a sniper in life? Then stop acting like a drunk cowboy at a shootout. Pull yourself together. Shut up. Sit down. Get still. And for once in your damn life, aim before you shoot. Stillness is not the enemy of action. It is the source of the right action. It sharpens your mind like a blade. It teaches you to listen to your instincts instead of your insecurities. That's when you stop chasing chaos and start controlling it. That's when you evolve. That's when you become dangerous. And let me tell you something. Dangerous men don't panic. They plan. And they execute with deadly calm. So the next time the world tries to drag you into the noise, remember, stillness is not surrender. Stillness is strategy. It's power, and if you can master it, you'll be unstoppable. You think emotions make you strong, that being loud, reactive, explosive somehow makes you powerful? That's a lie the weak tell themselves. Let me be clear. Raw emotion is not power. Controlled emotion is. There's a massive difference. One makes you a puppet, the other makes you a king. Emotion left unchecked will ruin your decision-making, sabotage your relationships, and destroy your focus. It turns your potential into ashes. But when you learn to own your emotions instead of being owned by them, everything changes. That's when you evolve from average to elite. That's when you become dangerous, not because you're out of control, but because you're in command of the chaos inside. Stillness is the training ground. It's the place where warriors are built, not by action, but by inaction done with purpose. Because when you sit still, when you sit with your thoughts, your doubts, your fears, you're not running, you're confronting. You're choosing to sit in the fire and learn how not to burn. Stillness teaches you how to override panic. It teaches you how to slow down time in the middle of the storm. Now think of any high-level performer, Navy SEAL, elite CEO, world-class fighter. They don't flip out under pressure. They lower their heart rate. They become calmer when things go wrong. That's not natural, it's trained. And it's trained in stillness. Life will throw fire at you, betrayal, failure, pressure, uncertainty. And the average man, he melts. He lashes out. He complains. But the one who's mastered stillness, he doesn't flinch. He absorbs the heat and converts it into power. That's what stillness does. It rewires your brain to stay level when the world tilts sideways. It gives you the edge in every confrontation, not because you're louder, but because you're clearer. It's not the angry man who wins, it's the man who keeps his head when everyone else loses theirs. You want to build something great? You want to lead? You want to dominate in business, life, battle? Then you better learn how to regulate your emotional thermostat. If you let the world control your state, you'll never control your world. Read that again. The man who can breathe slow in war, who can speak calmly in conflict, who can make decisions without being owned by fear or ego, that man becomes unstoppable. Controlled emotion is the secret weapon of leaders. It's the X factor of warriors. It's not soft, it's savage. It takes more strength to be still than to explode. Because stillness requires discipline, and discipline is the highest form of self-respect. So train it, practice it, honor it. Because if you can't control your heartbeat, you'll never control your empire. Stillness creates vision, and vision creates power. That's not just a quote, it's a war strategy for life. Most people are addicted to noise. They wake up to it, fall asleep with it, and live in a constant state of distraction. The news, the opinions, the scrolling, the drama, it's all fog. And if you stay in that fog, you lose sight of your own direction. You're no longer driving your life, you're being dragged through it. Evolving means learning how to cut through that fog. It means you step back, you go silent, not to retreat, but to recalibrate. Silence is where the real voice of your life starts speaking. You just haven't heard it because the volume on your excuses, your doubts, and the outside world has been turned up too loud. When you stop moving for a moment, when you stop chasing and start listening, you realize how much noise you've let define you. You've been told what's possible. You've been told what you should do, what you shouldn't try, who you are, what you aren't. And all of that BS becomes your belief system. But when you choose stillness, when you step into silence with intent, the fog begins to clear. You stop hearing the world and start hearing you. That's when vision is born. Vision isn't some feel-good Pinterest quote. Vision is power. It's a map for domination, but it's not found in chaos, it's forged in clarity. The strongest leaders didn't rise by accident. They saw something before others did. They saw a future others couldn't imagine because others were too busy being distracted. You don't evolve by copying. You evolve by creating. And you can't create when you're caught up in the chaos of what everyone else is doing. You've got to go quiet, you've got to go inward. And that's hard. Stillness will feel like weakness at first. It'll feel unproductive, but it's the most productive thing you can do. This is where you stop being a follower. You stop reacting to the market, to your past, to your fear. You start responding like a general, strategic, focused, powerful. Vision comes with silence, but action comes right after. When you know where you're going, every move has weight. Every word you speak cuts. Every decision builds. You're not wasting energy anymore. You're directing it. And here's the truth. People follow noise for a moment, but they follow vision for a lifetime. The loud ones get attention. The calm ones get respect. You want power? Stop yelling. Start seeing. The person who can sit in silence and see the entire battlefield will always conquer the one who's too busy swinging blindly. Vision isn't hype, it's precision. It's the roadmap, it's the difference between chaos and conquest. And if you want to become the storm, first you've got to be still enough to see where the lightning needs to strike. Master your mind or be a slave to the world. That's not a slogan, it's the hard truth. Stillness is not about sitting cross-legged on a mountain humming like a monk. It's about locking into your purpose with sniper-level focus. It's about building a mind so sharp, so centered that nothing, no setback, no insult, no failure can shake it. Because here's the fact. If you can't control your own thoughts, your environment will control them for you. The world is full of distractions, chaos, noise, and weak men begging for attention. And if you don't stand firm in stillness, you'll become one of them, reacting to every tweet, every critic, every curveball life throws at you. That's not power. That's slavery with a screen in your face. You think discipline is optional? You think it's something you try out when you feel like it? Discipline is the oxygen of greatness. No oxygen, no life, no discipline, no power. Stillness sharpens discipline like a blade. It slows down the noise, it tunes out the static, and it tunes you in. That moment when your alarm goes off at 4:30 a.m. and your body says no, but your mind says, let's effing go. That's stillness in action. That's mental sovereignty. That's evolution. The most dangerous people on the planet are not the ones who yell the loudest. They're the ones who smile while they're bleeding. The ones who sit still while the world burns because they know the fire is just part of the process. The titans of history didn't make empires by being busy. They made them by being deliberate. They paused, they calculated, then they executed with such ruthless precision, the world had no choice but to kneel. We live in a reaction culture. Someone offends you, you lash out. Someone posts success, you get jealous. Someone challenges you, you fold. That's what losers do. Losers react. They move when pushed. But legends respond. And when they move, the earth shakes. They move because they choose to, not because they're forced. That's what stillness gives you. It puts you in the driver's seat of your own life. You stop letting fear run the show. You stop letting doubt hold the mic. And you start living on your terms. Stillness is a weapon. A calm mind is a loaded gun. When your emotions are spiraling and the pressure is mounting, the man who stays still is the man who strikes last and strikes best. The man who owns the moment, not because he has nothing to fear, but because he's trained his mind to dominate fear. That's mastery. That's leadership. That's power. So you've got two choices. Master your mind or hand it over to the world and pray it plays nice. But I'll tell you this, the world doesn't play nice. It plays for keeps. And if you don't take control now, don't be surprised when chaos takes everything. Master yourself or be mastered. Period. Stillness fuels the evolution to your higher self. It's not some mystical floating on a cloud idea. It's raw, it's real, it's necessary. You evolve the moment you understand that stillness isn't passive. It's preparation. Most people think stillness means doing nothing, being weak, being soft. That's how the average mind works. But you're not here to be average. You're here to dominate. Stillness is the crouch before the pounce. It's the pause before the punch. It's the lion in the tall grass. Silent, focused, ready to unleash absolute chaos at the perfect moment. Stillness doesn't mean you're not dangerous. It means you're so dangerous you don't need to show it every second. It means you have control, discipline, focus. You don't jump at every noise. You don't flinch, you watch, you listen, you calculate, and then you strike. That's evolution. That's power. You stop whining, you start winning. It's that simple. You stop blaming the world, your past, your parents, your boss, the government, the economy, your energy, and you go quiet, you go deep. You realize the battlefield isn't out there, it's in here. And once you conquer the noise in your mind, the world has nothing on you. Because when you're still, you can hear what matters. You can hear your mission. You can see your next move with crystal clarity. That's when the world starts to bend around your will. That's when you stop chasing and start creating. You shut out the world and hear your truth. And that truth, if you're strong enough to sit with it, will hurt. It'll tear you apart. It'll show you how much you've been hiding, lying, coasting. And if you're hungry enough, you'll use that pain like rocket fuel. You'll execute. You'll stop reading motivation and start becoming motivation. You'll stop scrolling and start building. Because you'll realize something the masses never will. Movement without purpose is just distraction. But stillness with intent, that strategy. That's where kings are born. Still waters run deep, and deep men build empires. Let that sink in. Shallow people make noise. Shallow minds stay in motion, terrified of silence because they might hear the truth. But the ones who rise, the ones who shift this world, they're rooted, grounded deep. When the world spins, they remain centered. They don't react, they respond. With force, with power, with dominance. Stillness is your edge in a chaotic world. It's your advantage. It's your separation from mediocrity. The weak fear it, the strong embrace it. And if you truly want to evolve, if you're done playing small, done living average, done drowning in noise, then sit still, look inside, and prepare. Because what comes next is the real you, and the world isn't ready for him. Stillness isn't the end, it's the beginning of your rise. Chaos will keep coming, life will keep swinging. But if you evolve, if you learn to be still in the storm, you'll not only survive, you'll conquer. Now shut up, sit still, and start building your legacy.